Welcome, my Nine Ether Nation. This is Nine Ether Truth YouTube channel. I'm your host, Trinity Goddess. This is the third and final part in a three-part series entitled The Mandela Effect, Psyops, Hoax, Cover-Up, Misinfo, and Lies. In this third part, I will be looking particularly at the subjects CERN, parallel universes, dark matter, antimatter, and melanin. As you can see and probably notice, I cut the intro music very short because I want to get into the metaphysics and the alchemy of all this information and make it make sense to you, my Nine Ether Nation. Now, I don't want to get into too much technical terminology. If you want to find out how CERN works, how it's built, how it's made, all that stuff, you can always do research elsewhere. However, I want to break it down and simplify the information so that it's not too technical for my Nine Ether Nation and they can use it to make sense in their world, in their mind, and see exactly how this info pertains to you, Nine Ethers. So let's just get started. Let's talk about CERN. And I'm just going to speak, unscripted, totally freestyle it. So basically, what CERN is it is trying to discover the God particle, because they call it the Higgs particle. They call it a collider. There's so many technical terms surrounding CERN. Really, all you need to know is they are trying to find out the chemical metaphysical makeup of melanin, in particular that extra strand that is attached to the X chromosome melanated woman's DNA, because she carries the mitochondrial DNA, which is in part of the God particle, because melanated woman is God. If you don't know this very basic fact, then you need to go elsewhere to do your research and gather that information. I don't have time to go into why and how for the sake of time. I'm assuming that you have advanced knowledge since you've been listening to the series of videos. So there's quite a few prerequisites that you need to have in order for this information to make sense. Otherwise, it would just sound like dumb shit, made up shit to you, and it's not. This is hidden knowledge. So, of course, hidden knowledge is going to sound foreign to you and going to sound strange. You have to have as a prerequisite knowledge that the earth is flat. We are on a flat, infinite plane. The circumference is what they lie to you and tell you that is Antarctica, and we are surrounded by the firmament, the glass dome. Nothing ever left the glass dome and nothing ever came in from the glass dome. There's only one way out, and that's through the North Pole, the center, which is Shambhala. And down there is the land or perpetual twilight. Down there is also the black sun. The black sun beams a light upwards to our realm, and we see it with our physical eyes as the bright sun in the sky. The moon is a hologram. Both the sun and the moon are within the Earth's atmosphere, about a few thousand feet above Earth. And these are all prerequisites you have to have knowledge of in order for the information beyond this point to make sense. Otherwise, it would just sound like dumb shit to you, and it will just only confuse you. So if you don't have all that knowledge, stop this video right now, gather your research, obtain the knowledge, and then revisit this video so that the information can make sense to you. So, as I alluded to, CERN really is trying to find the God particle. They won't say this. They are trying to say, oh, we're trying to find the Big Bang when everything happened. The Big Bang, by the way, is a hoax. No such thing. This whole realm is master engineered by God herself, the melanated Most High herself. It is not an accident. Nothing is by chance. Everything is meticulously calculated, measured, and designed. So the lower life forms are trying to trick their way into the other realm, because our melanin allows us to be for lack of a better word, superheroes. If you've ever watched the X-Men movies, all the superpowers in almost every super movie or TV show that you've seen, that's what melanated folks can do when our melanin is activated. And the lower life forms know this. So they're trying to use CERN to not only get to the other dimension and have a portal where things can come in from the other dimension, or they can travel into the other dimension. They also want to use CERN to replicate or duplicate the God particle, because they're trying to take over melanated God's power and dethrone her. However, she foresaw all of this, and she won't allow Neanderthals, 6 ethers, 7, 8 ethers, to outwit her and find a loophole to their longevity. They were supposed to be up off the physical realm a while ago, but because they keep making these wars and spilling blood, they've made a deal with other entities to prolong their existence here. However, they are just prolonging the inevitable because their time is up. It's time for them to go. They were made, they are GMO, they're synthetic hybrids, and as such, they have an expiry date. The sun alone tells them that they're not made from nature, of nature, because the sun works against them. It kills them. Now, the lower life form's existence here in the physical is coming to an end, as I mentioned. There is a formula for extinction: high mortality rate and low birth rate, which the lower life forms have. This is why they're trying transhumanism, so that they can use robotics and electronics to have a half humankind, half mankind, and half robot. Because when they have that combination, the life expectancy can go on and on. The robot can practically keep duplicating itself and uploading its consciousness in another robot and keep going for thousands of years. If you've ever watched Alien Covenant, you will see that that robot, duplicated, has a series. He's a clone, and he has a series that keeps going on and on. And there's lots of movies that speak about clones and robots and things. That is what they're doing with humankind cloning. They are trying to prolong their consciousness, their existence, in every way, shape, and form. However, their efforts are in vain because time is up. And I know I say time, it's kind of odd because in part 2 I said there's no such thing as time, and there really isn't. We are in a cyclical existence. We're just going around in cycles. However, sometimes I do say the word time just to make the information kind of break down and make sense to folks. However, when you get into real advanced knowledge and science, you will realize that time is just merely a concept. It's not real. It doesn't exist. What I'm trying to say is the lower life forms will not be carried on into the other cycle. It's not meant to be. They were not made to carry on with the 9 ethers, which is us melanin dominant Nubians of the earth. And I want to make a distinction, because not all Nubians, not all 9 ethers will ascend either. My Nubians, 9 ethers, I'm speaking to you. You've got to get your knowledge up. You've got to get up to par, up to speed in terms of your knowledge. Forget what you learned in school. Forget the stupid religion. Forget all that politics. Forget everything. And go back to the drawing board. You need to find out why and how melanated woman, X chromosome woman, is God. Bring yourself up to speed. You need to figure out the world you live in. This is a flat plane covered over by the firmament. We are on an infinite plane. You need to research flat earth. You also need to look into and research metaphysics, alchemy, get back into your African spiritual rituals and art, not Yoruba. That practice is completely corrupted by lower life forms. However, you can do your spells, your magic, your rituals, build an altar, learn the orishas and the liaos, and and do your spells to protect and heal yourself and your loved ones every day. Speak to your ancestors, reach out to your ancestors, not just when you have an issue or a problem, or when you want money, or you want a date from, a person that you admire. No, you're going to acknowledge their existence and, build an altar to them, give them offerings, let them know that you are aware of their existence, and they will favor you in certain ways. And everything that you want will slowly but surely come to you. You will manifest things from thought to reality. Because as melanin dominants of this earth, we can think things and make it so. Now, the lower life forms, they think that they have the same powers as the melanin dominant. They're just lying to themselves, and they're living in a false reality. Because the reality is, in order for you to manifest anything, you need that melanin. That is a part of your God particle. And if you lack melanin, if you're deficient in melanin, you can't do anything. So all these witches and Wiccas jumping around with candles and fucking stars on the floor and they're just lying to themselves. They can't conjure up or do anything. I need you to know that. In order for them to do what they consider magic, or to have any spell or ritual work, they need you, 9 Ether. They need your attention, your energy. You are their battery. So that's what the Super Bowl is all about, to get you to look at something and pay attention to something. And when you're in that crowd or at home cheering on your team, they are using that energy and using your melanin energy, your melanin warmth to make something happen. But without your attention, without your melanin vibration, they can't do a thing without you. So you need to know the power of your melanin. Melanin is a super substance. The God herself, the Most High, the melanin God herself, is a master engineer. And she knew that the lower life forms would try to overthrow her, take power, make deals with lower life forms, lower entities. So she created us with a gift, and this gift is a supple and active pineal and our melanin. These things the lower life forms can never figure out and can never duplicate. And I need to explain something. The lower life forms do not have a pineal gland, okay? This is a very common misconception, and some lower life forms know this. Some Neanderthals are aware that they have no pineal gland. Now, there's been a term thrown around called calcified pineal. Think about this. Nature does not make something that is useless, that has no use. If it has no use, then nature just does not make it or phase it away. So, if you are a 9 Ether, you were born with a very supple and active pineal. Through the GMO and what they're spraying and mind control that you are susceptible to and you receive through chemicals, eventually fluoride in the water, toothpaste, eventually your pineal gland does get calcified, because the fluoride literally is a powder that sticks to your pineal and it calcifies it over time. However, lower life forms, 8, 7, and 6 ethers do not have, and I repeat, do not have a pineal. Where their pineal gland is supposed to be, there is an empty space, or it's closed over, okay? Now think about it. Why would there be a pineal gland in a being's body that doesn't serve any purpose? Nature would never do that. So these lower life forms don't have a pineal. Now, the reason why I say get your vibration up, get your knowledge to advanced levels, and get back to your ancestors, do your rituals. I'll even throw in, make sure you eat healthy and have a clean lifestyle and detox your body at least once or twice a year, because this is how you keep your pineal active and supple. Make sure you're learning and you're conversing with high vibration 9 ethers every day, because this is how to keep your frequency high and make sure that your pineal is always active. Mind, body, and soul needs to always be energized and clean and utilized. And if you don't do that on a regular basis, there are repercussions. As you know, the physical body, if you don't exercise or if you don't stay active, if you put garbage in there, if you don't pay attention to the signals your body is sending you, your body eventually deteriorates at a rapid rate, or you get ailments and pains and sicknesses. So you need to attend to your temple, your body. Make sure you eat proper. Make sure you get lots of physical activity. Make sure you drink alkaline water. Meditation is always great for mind, body, soul. I highly recommend it. So these are little tips that I can throw your way and how to keep your vibration frequency high. Make sure that you're not falling for dumb shit hoaxes like the Mandela effect. There was a shooting in Las Vegas. That was a false flag. That's fake. There are secret trannies in Hollywood. 99% of the females you see who's famous is actually male, and 99% of the males that are so-called celebrities are females. You need to know this. You need to gather this information and make sure, as I said in the previous part to this series, that you view things with a very discerning eye. Do not take any information at face value when you see it online, when you watch it on television, when you watch it in the movies, when you see information in the newspaper, in magazines. Always read between the line and know that 99.9% of the time there's an agenda being pushed. You are being lied to, you are being tricked, you are being bamboozled. So if you really think the earth is round and it's spinning through space, and that they went to the moon, and that spacecrafts can come into Earth, and that we can fly out to other planets, and then the sun is 90 million miles away and the moon is how many million miles away, then your vibration is very, very low, and your knowledge is very low, and you've been successfully brainwashed. If you believe that there's a white Jesus, or there was ever a man that was similar to Jesus and he is the Messiah, you have been brainwashed. Your vibration and frequency is low. Your knowledge is low. You're under mind control. You need to know that. Let go of everything that you've been taught in school, in religion, in politics. Let it go. And what you have to do is unlearn and relearn. Everything is the opposite as it appears. So if they tell you there is a man God, know that there is a woman. And if they tell you he's Caucasian, know that she is melanated. Okay? Everything that's up is down, and everything that's down is up. If they tell you hell is bad, know that hell is not bad. What they're referring to is the land of perpetual twilight, which is Shambhala. That is your ancestral realm. That is your spiritual realm. And they know this. They can't get there. That is why the North Pole is heavily guarded by military personnel. You can't fly over there. You can't take a boat there. Nothing. Same with Antarctica. Look up the Antarctic Treaty. All these countries got together, and they are protecting the circumference of this flat earth. Why can't no one or hardly anyone go there? Well, because they know that beyond the ice wall are the infinite plains, the other lands. Research Sir Admiral Byrd, he went there, and he knows that there are lands beyond so-called Antarctica. He knows this. Lower life forms know, they have the knowledge that we should have. They have the hidden knowledge. It's up to us to dig and search and find this hidden knowledge. When you go to the bookstore or one of those indigo shops, go into the black magic section, because it's in that section that they hide your metaphysic knowledge, your high vibration alchemy knowledge. Don't be afraid if you see a skull or some bones, some blood dripping, or a devil figure. Don't be afraid. They put that there to scare you off, nine ether. The lower life forms have your knowledge. So basically, they're using CERN, as I mentioned, to try to get to the other dimension, to replicate, duplicate the God particle, to trick their way into the other cycle that we are going to be embarking in as a nine ether nation. In terms of dark matter and antimatter, all you need to know is those are just code words for melanin. There is lots of code words that they use for melanin. If you ever hear of black goo, blue goo, any kind of goo, they're talking about melanin. If you ever hear about quantum anything, they're talking about melanin. As a matter of fact, quantum computing basically is a way for them to use a computer to try to simulate what melanin can do. It's a way to run the machine that is going to help them to get to the other dimension and duplicate melanin. CERN and quantum computing, it's all intertwined. If you've ever heard of D-Wave, this is their big server that runs the CERN machine. So that, in a nutshell, is CERN, dark matter, antimatter, the powers of your melanin. I mean, we can sing better than anyone on earth. We dance better. We make love better. We run faster. We jump higher. We're better athletes. We tell better joke. We're warmer. And of course, this is all attributed to being melanin dominant. Now, of course, there are exceptions to every rule, but for the most part, if you make sure that you keep mind, body, soul clean and stay close to nature, your pineal will be active and supple. So there's no calcification because you're actively working to keep your mind, body, and soul clean. Now, I know that we do live in a toxic environment and they bombard us, spray us with chemicals and things of that nature. I'm not saying that you can be 100% detoxified in this toxic environment because that's next to impossible, but you can get somewhat close. The main thing is detox your body. I detox every 30 days. Detox your body, obtain knowledge, and make sure you get alternative knowledge, not from the news, but go online and talk to people on social media. Ask them what's going on in their city to get the real facts. Watch flat earth videos. Watch videos that talk about black women as God. Watch videos that teach you about the powers of melanin, what a 9 ether is, and then investigate things that you want to find out more about. CERN, antimatter, dark matter, melanin. Just do your own independent research. Do not rely on anyone to come to you with information. And when you do hear information, don't reject it, especially if it sounds strange and far-fetched. Just take time to process, have a mindset. Okay, that's kind of weird. That's kind of strange. But you know what? I'm going to investigate this shit because this sounds like really way out there. And do so. And make sure you bring scholarship to any conversation and not your emotions. If you've been listening to me throughout this entire series, you'll realize that I have a calm, even tone, and that's because I am high vibration. People who are high vibration do not express anger and rage every time they're giving out information. Whenever I hear anyone on YouTube or any radio show and they have anger behind their voice, I know that they are low vibration because they're running off of emotion, and emotion will always keep your vibration low. So when you're speaking or interacting with people, it doesn't matter how they're trying to upset you and bait you into an argument, always try to keep your mentality neutral. Ma'at is very harmonized. The scale is balanced. It's not tipping to one side or the other. So if you know Ma'at and you live Ma'at, you should also speak Ma'at. And Ma'at should come out in the tone of your voice and how you interact with people and how you speak to people. So whenever I get information, I always listen to tone of voice. And some of these RBG, Kemet type people are yelling and shouting. These Israelites are yelling and screaming at the top of their lungs on the street corner. And that automatically tells me that they are low frequency, low vibration. Because when you have high advanced knowledge and you're teaching and you're providing information, there's no reason to yell and scream and carry on. Sure, you can use profanity, but the tone of your voice should always exude harmony and serenity and calm. That's how you know the highest vibration beings, because they are actually living Ma'at through the tone of their voice and the vibration and the frequency that they're exuding. So I want to wrap up by saying thank you for coming along with me with this knowledge journey. And you may agree or disagree with some of the things in my videos. I always encourage for you to leave feedback, comments at the bottom of the video. Respectful shit, otherwise I don't play that game. And, just let me know what you learned, what you liked about the series of videos. And I'm glad that this series of videos has concluded. I learned a little myself. I always knew the Mandela effect was a hoax. It never resonated with my spirit at all. However, you need to know, Nine Ether Nation, that you are undergoing a change. You need to know that your melanin is activating and that no other being on the planet is going through a change. Only you, my melanin dominant Nine Ether Nation. Don't ever let anyone tell you that these lower life forms, 6, 7, and 8 ethers, are shifting anything, elevating their mind, activating their third eye, doing this with their aura and their chakra. They are synthetic GMO. They're not natural. They're not organic. So therefore, there's no ascending for them anywhere. This is the end of the road for them. And as I said at the end, or as I typed at the end of part 2, as it was in our beginning, so shall it be in their end. Okay, so please do look forward to the next video. Release a video every Sunday. So please remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share. On that note, this has been Trinity Goddess saying to my Nine Ether Nation, oneness.